So I began selling in a logical order, and my sales went up. And then I began reading books on selling, and my sales went up. And I began listening to audio programs on selling, and my sales went up. And then I began to attend conferences like this. And I still remember the first one that I attended. I'd never been to one before. And I sat and took notes. And then I practiced what I learned. And my sales went up and up and up. And soon, I was the top salesman. Soon, the person who started me was working for me. Within a year, I was in charge of all the salespeople. Within 2 years, I was in charge of 6 countries. And I had 95 salespeople. And my whole life was transformed. Now, what I learned was this. What I learned was the oldest law in human philosophy. The oldest law in human history, which is the law of cause and effect. The law of cause and effect says that everything happens for a reason. It says that success is not an accident. Failure is not an accident. I learned later that my friend, who was earning 10 times as much as anybody else, had worked for a large company some years before. The large company had spent 1 year training him in professional selling. As a result, he could go anywhere, in any country. He could sell any product because he had the formula. He had the recipe. He had the system. And once he shared the recipe with me, I could sell as much as I wanted anywhere I went. And once I shared it with other people, they could sell as much as they wanted. Today, when I travel around the world to countries that I have worked in before, where I've recruited salespeople, I meet them again. And they are millionaires. They are wealthy. They own their own businesses. They own property. They have large bank accounts. These are people that I recruited new off the street. Who had no money, had no job, had no sales skills. And I trained them in the method of selling. And today they're wealthy. All over the world, they're rich. I sat down with a gentleman who worked for me many years ago, last year. He is now worth about $25 million. And when he came to work for me, he had only old clothes and no money. He had not eaten for about 2 or 3 days. And I took him in, and I gave him food, and I got him clothes, and I taught him how to sell. And today, he's a very wealthy and powerful man. He owns many businesses. And I said to him, I said, you know, I am very proud of what you have made of your life, of what you have accomplished. And he said, yes, he said, and I still remember where I started when you taught me how to sell so many years ago. So, is it possible? I have some news for you. Nobody is better than you, and nobody is smarter than you. No one is better, and no one is smarter. Now, this is a major problem that we have in adult life. When you're growing up, you compare yourself with other people. Other people get better grades than you. You work hard, but still other people get better grades than you. When I was going to school, I got terrible grades at school. In fact, there are people in this room who got poor grades in school. Yes. And we know who you are. You may be sitting next to one of those people right now. This is what happens. If somebody gets better grades than you, you think, well, this person is smarter than me. So therefore, if this person is smarter, then I must be dumber. So therefore, why should I try? Because he is smarter, and I'm dumber. Then we go to the next step. We think, well, if he's smarter than me, he's probably better than me. But if he's better than me, then I am worse than he is. So then we think, well, he must be worth more than me. So I must be worth less. And this is the big problem we have. Is we always look at ourselves as being less than other people.